What's up, ladies? How's everybody today?
What up? What it do?
What up? What up? What up?
What up? Yeah, what up is right. Guess what, ladies? April Fools. Like,
Oh
no,
my goodness.
I can't.
it's like, nah, but this week, ladies, we're going to be talking about marriage and divorce.
Oh yeah, that's a fool's day for real.
Don't do.
Psych.
Oh,
April Fools. Sakafet, you're listening to Unfiltered Lyman with BLT. Every week, we will reflect on our journeys on trying to navigate between our parents' traditional culture versus American culture. We are your hosts,
Bertide,
Lisa,
and Terry.
No one's talking, so let's get unfiltered.
Oh goodness.
God. Imagine waking up and finding out, like, oh my God, I'm married. April Fools. Psych. Stop. Okay.
Listen, don't listen to Lisa, ladies and gentlemen. Marriage is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Done with the right person.
I'm sorry.
Don't listen to the two bacchanal Bettys here. Marriage is a wonderful thing. Done with the right person. Mm-hmm.
Why we gotta be the bacchanal Bettys? What's up with that?
I know. All I was saying is April Fools. All I said was April Fools. However people want to take it, they take it.
Yeah, today's April Fools. Just saying, April Fools.
I'm sorry. Yes, Sarah, you are correct. Marriage is a beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing, you know.
It's a beautiful thing. Yes, very, very beautiful thing. Done with the right person. So how we going? Oh,
yeah, marriage.
Marriage in the West Indies. Let's start with that.
Ooh.
What does that entail? Y'all tell me.
A lot of patience, a lot of drinks, a lot of rum shop talk.
I feel like it's also a lot of, from the women aspect, and I could talk about this from my mom, seeing my mom and other people. I feel like it's a lot of, for the women growing up, and I could be totally wrong, but it's from my side, is not being 100% who you are.
Oh, yes, that's very true.
Walking on eggshell because you just... One, you don't know who you are when you get married. So the thing is, they go into a marriage and they don't fully understand what they like, what they don't like. Because again, let me back up. In the Haitian culture, I don't know if it's still the same, but I know in my mom's generation, it's basically you didn't date to find out what you like, what you don't like, what your type, what you don't type. You understand what I'm saying? It's like whoever you bring home, that's your husband. You can't be out in them streets because they're going to call you a hoe. They're going to call you every name in the book. Even if you ain't doing nothing, if you're just trying to find out, I may like this person, I don't like this person. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I mean, God forbid you have sex before marriage. That's another thing too. Like,
who does that?
I'm just saying. I mean, again, the turtleneck might not be on properly. You may be like, yo, I don't.
Here we go. Here we go again.
I'm sorry.
Here we go.
If we're going to be honest and unfiltered and talk about marriage, sex is a part of marriage. Like, let's just put it out there. And I don't think I could speak from my face. Like, they don't talk about those things, right? They talk about, like, trying to make sure you keep the house, you keep the children, you know how to cook. But damn it, you are an emotional person. Like, how are you not going to talk about the other stuff that makes you in a marriage? Let me just stop.
Let's talk about sex, baby. No, that's not going down.
No,
they're not. No. And then also, too, I think historically also weren't a lot of marriages arranged.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all both were in there banging Betty's, didn't know what was going on.
Come on, me?
Not you.
We both were in there. Was that a dig, Terry?
I said banging Betty's. I didn't say nothing about you, yo.
I didn't jump up. I didn't even say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry, folks. What
just happened?
Okay.
Ain't nobody saying nothing about you and your bedroom activities. We talk about marriages and divorce.
You know what?
I can't with this. Let me ask this question. How do you ladies feel about marriage itself?
I think it's a beautiful thing.
Why?
Stop messing.
Oh, damn. What?
Why? Why do you
Go
think
ahead.
it's a beautiful thing? What's beautiful about it to you?
Okay, psych. Let me get serious here. Okay,
Ah,
April Fools.
I know, right? April Fools. I think it's a beautiful thing to have a life partner that you can go through life with as a best friend, and that y'all can grow together and do fun things together and plan for your future together, and have that person when life gets rough, the trials and tribulations, that's that one person that you can lean on, rely on, have your back, support you, cheer you on. You know, it's nice to know you have that one person.
So let me follow up with Terry's question, because you answered about marriage. So when you do find that person, you think that's supposed to be all that. So when it turns to shit and you've been planning all this, what happens?
What, were you talking about divorce?
Yeah, now that steps into it. Because, I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, right? But what happens to the opposite side of it when...
Yeah, that's when emotions rises and everything like that, and it gets ugly with divorces, depending on how much assets you got together, kids, money, infidelity, all of those things. But I think the goal should be, when you get married, that the goal is not to get divorced, and it's to work through it and everything. In a perfect world, of course, but that's not. But yeah.
Go ahead, Terry.
Terry is over there foaming at the mouth.
Go
Foaming.
ahead, Terry.
okay. Here's the thing. In my opinion, marriage is the next level in your relationship. For any marriage to be successful, in my opinion, both parties have to do the work individually and together in unit.
Yeah.
And they have to want it.
All right. But listen, a lot of times people get into these relationships and they want the wedding, but they don't understand what the marriage entails. And that's more work, because it's just like a job. You got to work at it. If you want to stay on top of your game, you got to work on it. You got to make sure that you're on the same page with your partner. Every day is not a 50-50. It's not. If anybody tells you that, that's a damn lie. Some days it's 70-30, some days it's 60-40, some days it's 90-10. But y'all have to be willing for the common goal to be able to, I want to be in this with you. Like Lisa said, I want to be in it with this person that I am committed to go through all the trials and tribulations. Now, when you don't do the work, or sometimes one person doesn't do the work, that's where the divorce aspect comes in. Okay? Because now you realize that you're at this crossroad here, and you're saying, okay, what are we doing here? Are we moving together, or are we moving separate? The question is, again, does the other person want to put in the time to do the work? And a lot of times get married for the wrong reasons. So this is why we're at the divorce. Which, you know something, and do not get me wrong, divorce is not a bad thing, okay? Because once you separate from that, if you're willing to be able to say, you know something, okay, now I'm divorced, let me take a minute here to see exactly what maybe marriage is not for me, because it's not for everybody. Maybe I take a step back, and maybe I need to figure out what I want in my next. So that's why sometimes second marriages work better than the first one. So this is not a bad thing, and we don't want it. It's a lot of emotion. It's painful. It's the part of life that dies. However, if you do the work, Brittany, you had something that you wanted to say.
Yes. So I agree with both of you ladies' point, and you brought up a good point. And let's take it a step before the marriage step, right? Because I feel like you said, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine, that when we go through relationship and we put in 2-3 years, right? Because typically that's the average of after 2-3 years, the next step, like you said, in the relationship is marriage, right? But I also had the conversation, and again, in my opinion, not everybody works that way. Now we are evolving. One, traditional marriages, like our parents' marriage, is no longer, I feel it no longer works for the climate that we're evolving into as people. Let's talk with that, right? Because again,
I agree.
They didn't do their work. We are now being more aware, like, it may work for some people, but traditionally, if you haven't done your work, those marriages works for you, because they are very accustomed to the woman has a role, the male has a role, blah, blah, blah. But in this day and age, like there's conversation I have where people like, oh, you should, as a woman, you should be keeping the house and the kids and all that. And the man goes to work. But damn, I go to work too, just as hard as you do. So if we going to play that, like you going to let me sit at home, but we can't afford that. So you have to also define what your relationship looks like, right? The other thing too in relationship, I feel like people are not honest, like we say, in their truth because they want to get married. So the thing is, it's surface. I'm not going to ask you about your finances. I'm not going to ask you what sex position you like or don't like. I'm not going to ask you what emotional baggage you coming in with. I'm not asking you like, what does marriage look like to you? What you want out of this marriage? Because again, there's nothing wrong with what you want, but you have to be able to communicate that before you walk down the aisle because you got to make sure like, yo, if you are with a person and the person doesn't want the wife to work, but you as a woman know like, yo, I want to work, I'm not marrying you and I'm not going to be in a relationship with you because there's already conflict, right? So people don't communicate their wants and their needs before they get into, I got the ring, and then you get in there and you find out like, wait a minute, all she wants to do is solitary. Yo, I need a woman to be fouling off the ceiling. So what are we doing? I'm just saying, some people are like that. Yes, I said flying off the ceiling, Lisa.
Yo, I heard the first part was solitary. I was like, which move is that one? I don't know about that.
What is it, solitaire? Well, you just sitting in the bed? I don't know.
Solitaire is a card game. I want to know what position that is.
Yeah, and that is flat.
Oh.
Right? I said flat.
Go ahead, girl. That's right.
You been fucking since you was a teenager. You ain't got your own fucking move. You still doing the same original fucking, the same OG teenager fucking. You.
I think that's called missionary, ladies.
Missionary, solitaire. I don't know. It's flat. It's whatever. It's flat. Look, you ain't doing nothing except laying on your back.
Listen, solitaire, you play with the whole deck. That's why I just wanted to clarify what you were talking about.
Oh, so see, you going in too deep, Lisa.
That's the way I like it. I'm sorry, my bad.
That's what she said. But I'm sorry. See, I just lost but I'm just saying, like, we're talking about, understanding and communicating, which I feel like our parents, I know for me, I know damn well my mom didn't do that because she doesn't know how to communicate that. So the thing is, you going into there and then all of a sudden, and I'll give you a perfect example because I've had colleagues, they date people. And when they date people, the person could be like, oh, I don't like women that maybe wear pink nail polish, right? Or red lipstick, right? So during that time that they're dating, they don't wear those things. But that's who they are, right? And then I'm like, but explain to me, this guy is telling you what he doesn't like, and you are doing those things, but it's not really your character. So what happens when you get married? Do you think 5 years down the road, you're going to stay married?
Nope.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you're going in with the front, and a lot of people, men and women, say that, like, because people are so like against, like, oh, I'm turning this age, I want to have a kid, I want to do this, I want to do that. So they put on this facade that, and then it's like, but the thing is, you're doing it and you're still going to end up by your damn self because guess what? People nowadays, they're like, okay, divorce court, I don't want your ass, or I'm going to cheat on you. Or so you're like stuck with probably 2-3 kids. Now you just like right back to square one. And it's not pretty to go out there with 3 kids and you trying to find the next husband for them, like I ain't got no time for that.
Nope.
But that's just my opinion again. And marriage is a beautiful thing. Let me stop though. Let me put it to you this way. Like Terry said, marriage, I do believe the partnership between people, it's a beautiful thing because that's how I feel we're created. And my uncle one time said it to me. He's like, in life, you're not meant to be an island. Some people do. The people that do it are like the priests, but they molesting children. So I don't know how that works out for them too well. Like you just going against your nature. I'm just saying they go against their nature.
Happened.
Yeah, they go against their nature. Like I feel like that's a nature thing, right? For two people to be together and whatever, you know,
they say. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right?
Oh
like
my God.
Vow to not be with somebody, but I feel like as people, as human beings, it is our nature to want. You know what I'm saying? To be with somebody. Don't look at me like that, Sarah. Don't do that. To want.
Wait, you just said you just said that everyone is an island or not an island?
We're an island. We're not an island. No, we're not. No, because I'm saying when priests take the vow of not being with people, right? They don't want to get married, but they're sitting there molesting children. So that's contradiction. That's a contradiction.
No,
that's
absolutely.
That's where I was going.
Absolutely. But I was just trying to understand the island part. Sorry.
We're not an island. We're meant to be with people. We're meant
multiple people?
We're meant to be in relationship. We're meant to have like
multiple people and multiple relationships?
Nowadays,
yes.
Nowadays,
you get it right.
What, Terry?
I said yes, multiple people.
Oh, but let me ask you also, if like polygamy was a thing, right? If you could have more than one husband, would you want to have more than one husband?
Man, that's more than one headache.
Question.
Yeah, that's one more. Yes, exactly. So if you get tired of one, that's a headache? You think so? Oh.
That's a good question.
Well, so what's the answer?
With more, there'll be more required of.
What? More than one?
Mm-hmm.
In a perfect world?
Hold on. Y'all should see Terry's face right there. Whatever the answer she makes, she's smiling from like ear to ear, y'all. I just want to paint the picture before you answer. Go ahead.
Okay. So one that is going out there and making that money and keeping you just the way you want to live, all lavished.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, cooking, cleaning, holding down, making sure that how the place, yes, everything is on point. Then you have one, mandingo, coming with it every night. Him come with it.
So that's 3. So Tara would have 3 husbands. Because I counted 3. Did you count 3, Lisa?
I counted 3.
Yeah.
I think for me 5, because I want to rotate the mandingo.
What if everybody man ain't dingo in? What if everybody man ain't dingo in?
You talking about you get married for 60, 70 years. I'm just saying, in a perfect world, like I want to spice it up. I don't want to eat salad every day. I want a little bit of different topping. Well, I'm just saying.
Yo, what the fuck? B, who are you? Who are you?
Listen, she want chicken one day, she want beef one day, she want goat one day, she want ox tail one day.
Let's just be honest. Everybody, I feel like those are conversations. Let's have the conversation, and then you could be able to get to the other side of the conversation. Let's be honest, Lisa. If you could have a man that is good, you wouldn't want that? I mean, you don't answer. Maybe you don't want to answer.
I mean, I'm just saying. I just feel like that's too many people talking to me, yo. That's too much.
That's what I'm saying. You have it where they don't talk to you. Like, you get what you want. Like she said, one of them is Mandingo. He's like, holding out. The other one, he's out working. Like, you picking the personalities. Like, you have one that you could talk to, like, yo, you my talker, but then you have a Mandingo, and then you have one that, hey, babe, here's my paycheck, money in the bank, what you need. I'm just saying, they feeling.
Terry, we see the turtleneck. Just settle down. We see the turtleneck. Settle down.
I'm sorry, folks. Again, we are not the expert in this. We're just having a conversation because at the end of the day, in everybody's mind sometime. And people cheat. They're cheating. Why do people cheat? Let's talk about it. I mean, I'm having fun with it, but I feel like that's one of the reasons people cheat in their relationship.
They cheat because hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know who they are. Mm-hmm. And they really don't know what they want.
Exactly.
And they also can't make a commitment.
And it's also a bunch of flavor. Yeah, it's a bunch of flavor coming to you, and you don't know, like, yo, and that's the other thing, too. So I'm going to touch on it.
Sometimes they seek that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And the thing is, so when you get married, do you feel like you should just cut all ties with exes? Can you have, like, ex-female friends or people that, I'm just asking a question. Can you be friends with other exes when you get married?
Well, if they're not my exes, psych, let me stop.
I can't with Lisa. I cannot.
No, I think it's a conflict of interest or a potential distraction if you are still friends with them.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Because I think sometimes for the men tend to be hunters, and they tend to like to hunt things they cannot have.
Mm-hmm. Boom. Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
that's true.
So I don't think that is not a healthy situation. I don't think that's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we've talked about marriage in the sense that it is a beautiful thing. How do you protect? Because the thing is, I feel like also people have this illusion about marriage, right? So when you do get married, it's you and your partner. You're in this relationship, right? So let's say you get into this relationship, distraction comes, right? So to keep yourself from not going in divorce court, what are some things that they could like watch out for and do to be like, yo, like you marry this person for a reason, right? There's always going to be something that's going to come along, men and women, that's going to distract you. So if this is what you want, what are some things that you should look out for or be aware of or going into, have the proper mindset to be like, yo, to not lead to divorce? Go ahead, Lisa. Upkeep. Okay.
How you got the person, you need to continue that. A lot of times, for a lot of people, they fall off. They don't want to do anymore. If you know you used to wear the heels and the nice, sexy dresses, continue that. Don't say, okay, I got him and I ain't doing it. No, continue that. If you had Wild Wednesdays, keep up Wild Wednesdays, and then make it Taco Eating Tuesdays. I mean, so all of that, you gotta keep that momentum going.
No, you're absolutely correct. The way you got them, you have to continue that. And if you don't feel that you can continue that the way that you caught them, then don't bark up that tree. Just go someplace else.
Or have the communication. Communicate if you...
Wait, hold up. What is it to communicate? It's not going to communicate. It's like, yo, if you start off this way, you need to continue this way. There's nothing to communicate about that part.
Whoa, Lisa, wait a minute. Lisa, hold on. What I was going to say is because sometimes in marriages, like you may have met each other and maybe you were up high, right? And then you get married and you struggle, right? So it's the little things. So you may not be able to keep them the way that you started out because let's take example this pandemic. Both of y'all lost your job. So maybe you were going out on dates, and so you have to be creative enough to, like, I feel like, keep up. So it doesn't have to be the same, but it has to be some kind of effort put towards, like Terry's saying, the keep up is what I mean. Because sometimes people think like, oh, we're going out there, because when you're dating somebody, you're getting to know somebody. So you may be buying them, stuff like you may not typically because you're trying to get that attention, right? Just like us ladies, when we meet somebody, we do a little extra to keep their attention. Let's be honest. And then when we get in the relationship, because I'm not dolling myself up and wear makeup all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Because so it's a little bit different. And that's what I mean by communicating like, yo, while you're dating, like, yo, I feel like if you wear a wig, when you go on a date, you should be a bit like, yo, man, I got a wig on. Do you have a problem with that? I may be bald or I may not have hair or my hair is just like, you need to communicate that so they don't think like, yo, because I know there was a time when I had cut my hair into like a little buzz, and I met this guy and I was telling him like, yo, at the time I had a sew-in in, so I was like, yo, underneath my hair is like a little buzz cut with the side shave. And the guy was like, oh, why you do that for? And I'm like, what do you mean? Because he liked, like he said, he liked like the Beyonce full look. So then that's a conflict because that's what you understand what I'm saying? Not that it's wrong, but it's just, again, the person will tell you like, yo, this is what I like. Some people like women with long flowy hair, right? That keeps their hair. Some guys are like, yo, like if she's bald or whatever, keeps her hair, like preferences, you know what I mean? So I think, like you said, it's just communication is a big piece.
Yeah, but just to piggyback on what you said, you were absolutely correct. Yes, if situations happen in a relationship that finances change and things like that, I do agree with you. Obviously, they're not going to be able to buy you the same gifts or how they got you. It's not going to be the same. However, I do feel that there are creative things that you can do to show that that person, you're still important. You know what I mean?
But you still... So let's go back to love languages, because we did a love language. Should you know the person's love language too?
Yes, so, that's very important.
Do you know it? Oh, okay,
important.
yeah.
The love language.
You know it, yeah. Because you could be buying me stuff, but that's not my love language. So I'm just like, for me, I would tell you, buy a gift for me. I appreciate it, but it's not my love language. You could buy me a gift all day, but it's not my love language.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, yeah, I think like you have, like, I think like we've always said, you have to do your work to know yourself so you could communicate to your person X, Y, Z. And then the other thing too is, from my notice is, let's say you get married, right? At a young age, you're in your 30s, you get married, and you spend 70 years with a person. The person you're at 30, you're not at 40. The person you're at 40, you're not at 50. So it changes.
Yep.
So you have to be able, again, communicate those changes, because if you don't communicate those changes, the person is not a psychic. Yep. Like, I'm not a psychic. I can't figure out, no matter if I'm laying next to you, I don't know what's in your head and what's in your heart.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, you have to be able to communicate that the best way you know how. And even if you say, yo, I'm feeling something, I don't know what it is yet, have that open dialogue with the person, so that way there's no, you understand? Because then I feel like when you don't communicate that, then it leaves room for them to communicate to other people, and that's when you have other people come into your relationship now, because you're out there communicating to other people, and then they feel like, yo, and that's when, the devil come in with a red dress and divorce you all in divorce court.
One thing though, I do have to say, when we're in these relationships and then we eventually get into these marriages, we do change, and you have to be flexible also, because the person that you married maybe 5 or 10 years ago is somebody different, and you have to be willing to change with that person also, and not expect them to do and be the same person that they were when you started. That's another thing.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. You're right about that's a beautiful point right there. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And then the other point about divorce not being bad, because in our culture, I feel like divorce, I'm just going to put it out there.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Tonight, I'm just unfiltered. I'm sorry, y'all. And the West Indies culture, they feel like you're married and it's till the wheels fall off. And that's great if that works for that person. I don't want anybody to feel like if you get divorced, it's the end for you. Like God ain't got nobody else for you. That's a bunch of bull. You need to do your work. You need to, do your work to find out, and don't blame the other person like, oh, they did this. Like, do your work. Worry about yourself, because I feel like nobody knows your story and nobody can tell you what God has for you, right? So divorce sometimes can lead you to understand better yourself and also go to the next level, because again, you were in this marriage and you didn't know yourself, right? And maybe if you did, you would have been like, yo, wait a minute, I wouldn't have married that person. So you learn from that experience, and then you move on to. But the thing about in our culture that I feel like they're really strict about, oh, if you get divorced, like that's against the Bible. Like they're so harsh on people to make them feel so bad about themselves. So they like, you have to stay in this relationship. You know, God is not a God of divorce. Look, let me tell y'all something. Do the work in your marriage to leave with your peace. If you know you've done everything that you can in the marriage and you come to a point you prayed about it and you got peace, don't let nobody tell you otherwise what to do, what not to do, and learn the lesson, have your experience, and move on.
So I have a couple questions, ladies, that I wanted to discuss with you for this episode. Being that both of you have been married and divorced, I figure you ladies would be best at answering some of these questions.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh is right. It's oh gosh. Okay.
Gosh.
All right. Question number 1. If you were to get married to the same person again, what conversations would you have differently?
Let's not get married.
Or what conversational strategies would you do differently?
Let's not walk down the aisle, just have a baby. Just have my baby. That's it.
All right, great talk, beat. Terry, anytime, chime in.
Is it at this right now, knowing what you know now?
If you were to get married to the same person, yes, what you know now, you're divorced. So if you were to get married to the same person again, what conversations would you have differently, or conversational strategies you would do differently?
I think I would discuss more in depth expectations, because I didn't do that. It was like, okay, I put an offer on the table. All right, let's do it. That's it. It wasn't any lengthy discussion at all. So for that, definitely it will talk about expectations, end goals. What do you need? What do I need? You know, that definitely be our conversation.
It's good.
All right, cool. Next question I have: would you, if you were to do it over again, would you
wait,
do?
stop for a minute. Whoa. It's just registered. I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's for you, B. So you mean to tell me that you would just only want him for the physical aspect?
No, the problem, because she said, knowing what I know now, I have a beautiful child, and I wouldn't change that aspect of it.
That's what I'm saying. So just to reproduce, I just wanted, yes. Okay, cool beans. All right, that's it. I just want a clarification. That's it. Move on.
Okay. All right. So again, if you were to do it all over again, would you do premarital counseling?
Yes,
I would. Definitely.
Okay.
I would do premarital for as a couple and as an individual. I would do both.
I agree.
That's very good. Very good. Next question is, are you balancing each other out? Meaning, are you supporting each other's goals and hobbies?
I don't know.
When we were married, I got married, I was very young, right? So we were together for a long time, moved out of my mom's house at 18, 19, we're together and all this stuff. So just figuring out life. The thing is, after I got divorced, because I was so consumed in trying to have this image of when you're married, you're supposed to be consumed with the person, the marriage, the home. This is what it should look like. This is what it should feel like. It didn't happen like that for me. So I didn't register or focus on what my goals and who I am as a person, right? So in that aspect of the marriage, it wasn't until after I got the marriage that I learned, oh, wait a minute, I really want to do this. I really want to do that, right? So for me, or when we were together, we were so young that we didn't have those conversations and didn't know, because we were just so consumed with what we thought and what, you know, you see on TV of what a marriage like. He went to work, right? And even though I went to work, but he went to work, provided all this other stuff, the house and all that, but we didn't have those conversations. So I can't really honestly answer that, because it was just one of those things. We're just living, I guess, the fantasy of what a marriage should look like. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's good for someone to listen, because there's a lot of people who are doing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing the work prior to getting married. Okay.
But wait, they're not doing the work prior to, because people, that's not attractive to show. Because
Well, they don't know. They don't know. We didn't know. A lot of people don't know that you should.
They don't know.
They don't know.
But when I say that, I mean like on TV, and what society shows is the glamorous part, the big wedding with all the trimmings and that part, the day. They're not talking about the journey, the actual marriage, and that part is where you got to roll up your sleeves.
But think about also your parents. My mom didn't show me when her and my dad were together either. Let's put it to just our parents. They still make, like, I feel like the people that I know in my family that are married, it's still that image. It's still the image of the wife makes sure like her husband's food and the house is taken care of, you know, the kids are taken care of. So when it came to, I've not seen, even though they're like the women in my family are business oriented, but where they sit down and have conversation about this is where we're going as individuals, as family. Nah, they didn't have those conversations. You know what I'm saying? It was still not shown to me in my cultural site. I would say it's like all the men that I know that were met, they woke up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, went to work, came back at 6, food was on the table. If they played with the kids for a little bit, and then what? They weren't helping with homework. They weren't helping with the house chores. They did stuff on the weekend outside, but you know what I'm saying? Even in outside of TV, it was still not shown. Growing up as little girls in your family, what did they teach you? You need to know how to cook for your husband. You need to know how to make sure like his clothes is clean. They're not saying, oh, you need to sit down with his ass and make sure you talk about your goals. They're not telling you that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
See,
or not even sitting down telling you're supposed to have conversations either.
B, you got more than me. You got more than me. Even if you got 10%, you got more information than me. Even if you got 5 or 10%, that's still more than what I got. I got one line. Man does not want woman, wife for one day. He just want her for always. Ask me what the hell that means. I still don't know what the hell that. I'm like, huh?
Shit.
What?
Say that one more time.
She drops these one-liners on me.
Can you drop that one line so somebody could translate for us? Can you drop that line one more time?
Any Trinidadian that's out there, if you can translate what this means, decipher what this line means, I'd really, really appreciate. Man don't want wife for one day, he just want her for always.
That could be interpreted so many different ways.
That's why I always ask her, well, what does that mean? See, that's why I don't like asking, because every time I ask her a question, it means, what does that mean?
Well, could it mean speculating? Could it mean that
speculate? I don't want a speculation. I don't want a speculatory answer. I just want, what the hell does that mean? How does that correlate for me? See, like you said, okay, it can have all these different, a rainbow of answers. And what may be for you may not be for Bertine. What may be for Bertine may not be. What does that mean for me?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Nah, I'm just thinking, like, if say the line one more time.
Man don't want wife for one day, he wants her for always.
Well, if he wants you for always, that means he's in the long haul with you. He wants to spend the rest of his life with you. You a life partner. If he doesn't want you for one day, he wants a hoe for one day. A fling is for one day. A good time is for one day. But shit, what do I know? Anyway, other red gals out there, you have an answer for us?
Yes.
You're 20 years old, and I mean, and somebody's telling you this, you're like, what?
You're like, what the fuck does that mean?
That's exactly what, and as she walked away, I'm just like, this is me off. So,
Next question.
Mom Duke,
That's why we
Mom
all.
Duke, I need you to clarify. I don't know what the hell that shit means. Anyway, all right. I got 4 questions left, ladies. Would you argue differently?
Yes.
there's a way to argue, and people think that arguing is, sometimes cussing and fussing, depending on how you grew up. Sometimes people think that arguing is cussing and fussing. Some people think that arguing is shutting down. Some people think that, arguing is throwing things and fight. Yeah. So it's a whole different, there's a way to do
There's
that.
an art form to arguing. It's not about also the other thing too that I feel like it's okay, and I learned that growing up in any relationship, whether it's spouse, whether it's business, whether it's whatever, it's okay to agree to disagree. It's okay to say, wait a minute, I need time, because everybody's communication is different. I've been with people where I'm one of those, like, I'm telling you stuff and I expect you to answer me right away. And some people need to process. And there's times I need to process information. And I've realized, like, wait a minute, because it takes time for processing. And you have to allow, again, learning the person and learning, who they are. If they're telling you, wait a minute, I need to process, they don't tell you that, right? That you just figuring out, because some people don't know that their communication style, right? So they don't know to tell you, wait a minute, I know you told me something, but I need a couple of days to process what you told me. So I need to come back to you. And then the other thing too is, it's not about you being right. And that's another thing that I had to learn, because when you're arguing, you want to be like, I'm right, you're wrong. Anything you tell me is wrong. And understanding that, no. And when you're in a partnership with somebody, a marriage with somebody, and a family union with somebody, the hell about being right. It's nothing about being right. People think it's not about being right. It's about allowing, because you have 2 different perspectives, right? 2 different mindset, 2 different experiences, a lot of different things that come up. So it has nothing to do with you think you're going to plant your flag and be right. Guess what? Your ass going to be like us, divorced, and you're not going no. So it's about letting that mentality go of being right and understanding where the person is coming from, where you're coming from, blending that together and say, oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. Are you feeling what I'm saying? And how do we pick from all 2 experiences to move forward in the positive direction?
I like that.
That's beautiful.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
All right.
I like that.
Show's over. We're done.
I like that.
That was beautiful.
And
B.
you know something,
So that,
B, I never thought of it that way. It was even now when I'm going back and forward, it's always this motherfucker don't know who I am. The hell? I'm telling you, A, B, and C. Fuck. Yes. So, and that makes sense. That makes a lot
But
of
in a lot of the Black community, as Black women, if you're strong, Black, independent, that's what the mindset and what you see. Like, I'm Black, I'm independent, I got my freedom, and you want to be, and you wonder why the percentage of, and I'm not saying why there's such a high percentage of why Black women are single. I'm not saying don't be independent. I'm not saying, but that word sometimes, don't let it go to your head, because guess what? Ain't nobody got no time to be doing all that with you.
But here's the thing, Bertine. Remember, Because if you've had to do it for so
Mm-hmm.
long, when you do get in the relationship, you got to be deprogrammed. And that takes a while
Yes.
because you're so
Yes.
used to bam, bam, bam,
Said it.
bam.
Yep.
Say it again. Say it again,
You're
Terry.
right.
Say it
You
again.
have had to do it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into a relationship,
You're right.
you have to deprogram from all of that. So it takes a while. It really does. You got to keep
It
saying,
does.
okay, and the person has to be understanding and patient enough to be, understanding where you say, something, you're gonna have to work with me because I know, we keep coming back here, but I'm trying. You got to make a concerted effort.
Yeah. But I think what you said is the
Oh,
point,
man,
is
listen.
the fact that you have to recognize that about yourself so you could be able to communicate it to the person, because they're not going to know, like, wait a minute, this bitch crazy. Like, I ain't got time. You understand? Like, I'm sorry. Did I call you out your name? But I'm just saying, they're not going to know if you don't know, like you said, doing the
It
work
is
and
what it is.
communicating. So I feel like we go in storming and blah 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 blah. And so a lot of times we don't tell people, like, wait a minute, I need to be deprogrammed. Like, like, my bad. Like, you understand? We just expect them, again, go back to expectation. Expect them to put up with it. If you love me, you're gonna put up with all my bullshit because you love me and blah 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 blah. And understanding, like, I can love you, but I don't have to put up with your bullshit. I can love you from a distance. Goodbye.
Yep. Preach.
Okay, next one. Sorry.
All right, that leads to the next question. This might be a loaded question too. What did you learn about yourself?
That's a good question. That is a good question.
I let you go, Terry.
For me, I'll tell you this. I learned and I realized how much I didn't know and how broken I was. I still have broken pieces, but they're not as small and fine as before. They're just bigger pieces that are easily could be put back together. But yes, I realized how much I did not know and how broken. Yeah.
I would say I'm with Terry on that. I realized that I had a lot of anger towards my mother, a lot of anger at myself, and a lot of stuff in me. Again, like Terry said, brokenness that I had to work on to understand what made me who I am. Where am I and where do I want to? Because at that point I had a child. So my mindset was, what kind of mother do I want to be? Do I want to carry all this stuff and pass it on to my son, which I know I did not want to do? So I always feel like that is the blessing in disguise, even though, I'm divorced or whatever. I feel like God gave me a child to help me not carry these damn bricks. And I knew when I had my child, I did not want to pass any generational stuff. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't want none of that. So it forced me to keep my word, I guess, of fixing my shit.
Beautiful. This last question, I feel like, is part of another question, and I feel like you ladies already answered it. I know B did. Said, what would you do differently? You already said it. You wouldn't get married. So, all right. Great, ladies. This concludes our question session. It was wonderful. Thank you. I hope these questions and answers help someone out there, or some people out there. I think the takeaway to all of this is, B, you put it eloquently by saying that it's two different people coming together and you have to basically work through it together. Well, you said it better.
Have outside counsel. Meet people that have been married for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Because the thing is, just like we said on this show, as much as we think we're different, we're alike. And that's one thing. After I got divorced, I went to and participated in certain counsel sessions and realized that the people that were married 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, the same bullshit we deal with, they deal with. like the toothpaste, like the stupid stuff they get on your nerve. And you be like, oh, wait a minute, I thought I was the only one dealing with this shenanigan. And you realize you're not by your damn self. So find some people that have gone through so that they can mentor you and say, wait a minute, my sister, you don't have to fight this way. Wait a minute, let me take you to lunch so you can take a breather. Wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to find people that could help you go through that process. Don't be by yourself.
So toothpaste is not a reason for divorce, people.
It's not. If he picks a toothpaste in the middle and you from the bottom, it's not. I don't know about the toilet seat. If he leaves the toilet seat and you fall down on it, I don't know if that's called for divorce or not. But hey, let me know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm kidding.
Great talk, ladies. Great talk.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please send us your thoughts. If you're married, not married, how you feel. These are just our opinions, and we would really like to know what you're thinking. So, ladies, that was good talk, honest talk, and it came from personal experiences also.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, ladies, we are out.
What the hell? Y'all both said that at the same time. Somebody better say something again.
Like Bertine said, April Fools, and we're out.
Thank you for joining us this week on Unfiltered Lyman with BLT. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and join our Facebook page. As always, subscribe to our show to catch every new episode. Leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh and exciting content. See you next Thursday, same time, same station. Unfiltered Lyman with BLT is edited and produced by Unfiltered Lyman with BLT.